Hey, Matt.
Hey, Jeff.
I'm vengeance.
I'm vengeance.
I'm super vengeance. Hey, everybody. So we just watched The Batman.
We are back, ladies
back.
and gentlemen.
We're
and
back.
We watched Robat Bat and Bats.
Yes, Matt Reeves, The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. So before we get into our review of this, are you a Batman fan?
Okay, so I have always been more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan.
Same.
But as far as DC goes, I would say that I'm more of a Batman fan than anything else. I'm not super into it. I'm not like a hardcore Batman nerd or anything like that, but I think that he's all right.
The original Tim Burton Batman, when it came out when I was a kid, I went bananas over it. Bananas.
You went bat-nanas?
I went bat-nanas, and I loved the second one even more. And I was just a hardcore fan, even with how weird I felt like the third one was with Val Kilmer.
Mr. Joel Schumacher?
Yeah, I was like... And then Batman and Robin came out, and at that point, I was just old enough that I was like, fuck this shit, and flipped a table.
You weren't like Alicia Silverstone, what a fox?
No. Because like at that point in time, there was some movie, I think it was Clueless. Was that Alicia Silverstone?
That was like the biggest movie that she had been in at
the
time.
Yeah. And everybody in my school was like fucking bananas over Alicia Silverstone.
Funny story,
yeah.
I was forced to watch that movie, Clueless, in my English literature class my senior year in high school. Because my English teacher was a fresh out of college, like 24-year-old woman who it was her first teaching job.
Wow.
And she made us read Emma by Jane Austen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And when we were done with the book, she's like, okay, now we're going to watch this movie that's based on this book.
Right. Okay, that went a lot better than I thought. I thought it was going to be like, you see, class, in order to understand Dostoevsky, we have to analyze more contemporary art forms derivative from classic Russian.
Man, I honestly wish that it would have been a little bit deeper.
Yeah, well,
but
anyway. Yeah. So anyway,
off on a tangent.
Yeah,
already.
We do that a lot. So we went and saw The Batman, and we have some thoughts.
Just a couple.
Just a few. Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh God, that's you know what? I was kind of bored.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was kind of bored.
Okay.
I think that what I said going out of the movie theater was somewhere in this 2.5 hour movie, there's like a good 90 to 110 minute movie in there.
Yes, and I agree with that. And I would say there might even be a great movie in there.
Maybe.
Because I got to be honest, like, okay, I don't know how this stacks up as a Batman movie, but as a Marvel Daredevil TV series movie, pretty fucking great. Because that's what I kept thinking the whole time I'm watching it.
Sure. Yeah, it definitely had those vibes. It had that like early superhero trying to gain his footing.
Right.
Kind of, a little bit, just a tiny bit OP over everybody else.
Sure.
That, like, he could just wail on him and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. And without going into spoilers, because we'll let you know when we're going to get into spoilers. This is just setting. It takes place 2 years after he has decided to become the Batman.
Yeah, so he's
very green.
Early on in his Batman career, and
Right.
you see for like, I would say the first half of the movie, they keep showing clips of him in the Batcave, and there's like engines torn apart, and you can see his cars all covered up and everything.
Yeah.
Like you get the feeling that he's still perfecting his Batmobile.
He's
Like
still
he hasn't even
building.
Yeah, like he hasn't even taken it out for the first time maybe yet. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do like the new Batmobile. I think it's pretty good.
It was definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's like a reinforced muscle car.
Right.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I think that they were trying to kind of split the difference with Ben Affleck's first Batmobile to try to kind of make it look like the Tumbler, but also make it look more
Sure.
car.
Yeah, I can see that.
And this one, they were just like, make it a fucking muscle car with a rocket engine.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Obviously, like reinforced. Yeah, no, it was great. It was super great. So yeah, it's very low tech Batman.
Yes. Very film noir.
Very, very film noir. And I always struggle because like, do I want to strongman the movie to begin with, or do I just want to shit on the things that I hate the most about it? Like, where do I start? You know?
I think we've said some nice things about it.
Yeah. Well, let's say some shit, and then we'll say some more nice things about it because this movie, like, look, it's not a bad movie.
It's so fucking long.
That's the biggest weakness it has is that it's very long, and
It's
I have
got
a
some
theory.
other weaknesses, but like that was definitely the biggest one. Is like, goddamn, it was so fucking long. And the last movie that I saw in the theater that I felt that way about was Dune. And when I was in the theater and I was sitting there watching these long, drawn out scenes, and I was thinking to myself, God, when was the last time I was bored at a theater like this? Oh, it was Dune. Well, at least the visuals are better. I
True.
really, really liked the film technique, the cinematography.
Yes. That is probably one of the best parts of this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the shots that are drawn out and long and they're not saying anything, they still look really good.
Yeah, and the color palette is very poignant. It adds a lot of character to it. The use of lighting in it is great.
Yeah,
Like,
I heard that this movie was going to be very dark as far as like color wise, and there were dark parts, but it was lit well enough that you could see what was going on, because there are some movies that are so dark that you just have no idea what's going on.
Right. There's a scene in the trailer where he's in a hallway and there's no light except for the flashing of muzzles as people are shooting. I love that. I thought it was really good. And like when I saw it in the trailer, I'm like, eh. But then I saw it actually in the theater. I'm like, that is very evocative. It is good.
So I'll let that lead into one of my large criticisms about this movie.
No spoilers.
I mean, okay, no spoilers. It's not really.
I'm just saying, like
you see it in the movie. Okay,
make the line.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You see it in the movie, or you see it in the trailer. So I don't really see it as a spoiler. But clearly, the bat suit is bulletproof, right?
Right.
Okay, fine. The bat suit is bulletproof. Okay, but that being said, you even being bulletproof, you don't just shake off the impact of a bullet. And not to mention when somebody's shooting you with an automatic weapon and you're getting hit with like 3 or 4 at a time, and you're just like, and you keep going like nothing happened.
Right.
That was one of my biggest.
It's kind of plot armor-ish,
It really kind of, it removed my suspension of disbelief every time that it happened. I was like, oh, okay.
He gets shot with like a deer hunting rifle, and I mean,
that's later on, and I wasn't even going to get to that. But there's like 6 dudes with hunting rifles, and they're all like 300 caliber, range here, and they're all shooting him, and he's just like it's bouncing off of him, and then he gets hit with a shotgun.
Yeah,
like somebody shoots a shotgun at him, and that's what like blows him back far, like to where it like blows him off of a scaffolding almost, and he's like, oh, and he's all stunned and everything. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so let's say that those are 30-06 rounds or 308, some kind of caliber that is available enough that these people who went to a surplus store or whatever to get it,
right?
They're able to get it. So he's sitting there getting hit with like deer caliber rounds and just shrugging it off. But then he gets hit with, and it didn't look like a 12 gauge to me. It looked more like a 20 gauge. But let's say that it's a 12 gauge.
Right.
Even a 12 gauge round is not gonna do that to him compared to what those
deer rifles. Yeah.
Or even if it was a 223 round or whatever, like still
it did, like, I guess maybe that's one of those situations where like we know enough about guns that it kind of ruins
that's probably what it is.
Yeah, we're gun nerds. Things I didn't like about it. Well, okay. You know what I did like about it?
Tell me what you did like.
I liked the acting. I think the acting was pretty good. What I didn't like about it? Okay, so there are avenues by where you can explore a new version of a character, and that's fine. I think that's good. They do that a lot with this movie. Pretty much the only person who is like they are in all the other movies and in the comic books is Gordon, and he's great, by the way. The actor who plays Gordon is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's the guy from Westworld.
Yeah. He's just brilliant in the role, and I think he does a great job. But so everybody else is very different.
I didn't really like Andy Serkis.
I think he was fine.
I mean, he was, he
was okay. They didn't really give Alfred a lot to do.
No.
So he didn't really get a good chance to shine, you know. And I like Andy Serkis. I don't always like the roles that he plays.
I like Andy Serkis too, and like yeah, I feel like he hasn't really been given anything that like, I mean, since Lord of the Rings, where he's really just been able to fucking nail it. Yeah. And yeah, whatever. So.
But so I think the acting was done well, but the problem really comes down to some issues that I have in the choices and how they chose to portray things. Like, for instance, like we all know the story of Bruce Wayne, I am vengeance and blah 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 blah. But like in most, and we were talking about this before we went to the movie. One of the reasons why I fucking hate the Christopher Nolan Batman movies is I think Christian Bale is
You heard it here. He hates Christopher Nolan and he hates Christian Bale.
is I think Christian Bale was a shitty Batman and an even shittier Bruce Wayne. The movies are great because the villains are incredible, but he was bad. And in this one, I think Robert Pattinson is a fine Batman. I think he's decent. He's pretty all right.
Yeah.
But he doesn't even play Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that was something we said coming out of the theaters. Like,
yeah.
he didn't play Bruce Wayne at all. Like, Bruce Wayne wasn't a character in this movie.
He wasn't even like trying to do Bruce Wayne-y things.
Yeah, he was like, I don't care. This is my family legacy, being Batman.
Right, and like I'm okay with that, taking creative liberties, but at the same time, it felt odd because, not to spoil anything yet, we're gonna just say fucking spoilers here in a second. But before we do. There is a part of the plot that has to do with the Waynes.
Right.
And if that's going to be a centralized part of your plot, then I feel like the Waynes as an entity should have a presence in the movie. And they just really don't. He's just not ever really Bruce Wayne, except for like one scene, and it has no relevance. Well, no, two scenes. And only one of them has any relevance.
The funeral scene?
No, the one after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
Where he goes to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, is there anything else that we want to talk about before we go and get into spoilers?
It's time to get into spoiler boy territory.
Hey, spoilers. The whole rest of the video is spoilers. So if you don't want to, go watch it yourself and then come back and watch the rest of this.
The movie should have ended after Falcone got shot.
Agreed.
That should have been like, they should have like wrapped it up at that point. Like finished everything and had him talk to him. The decision to go on after that.
Yeah.
With the whole like goofy plot that didn't make any sense, that felt like they were trying to do the Joker scene with the fairies in The Dark Knight.
Okay. So to give a brief synopsis, the movie is all about the Riddler, and the Riddler is exposing the corruption behind some of the elites in Gotham, right? And he finally gets a chance to kill the last big bad guy.
Brings the rat into the light, which
ends
up being Falcone.
Who it's implied is also the people who killed like Bruce's parents, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's a confrontation at between the Riddler and Batman.
In
right?
Arkham, yeah.
In Arkham. Before that happens, I think they were just going to end the movie because everything that comes after it feels like studio.
It just feels tacked on for no fucking reason.
It absolutely does.
So his plan is very meticulous and thought out up until the point where he's like, now I'm going to blow up the seawall and drown everybody and shoot the mayor-elect that hasn't done anything.
Yeah, dude. And see, that's what's so fucking weird about it is because the Riddler is absolutely brilliant in what he does the whole fucking movie. And he's only he tries to, for the most part. He's only hurting the people that are shitty people.
Right. The people who are clearly corrupt and part of this corruption scandal that's going on.
Right. And then all of a sudden, they just wanted him to become chaos like the fucking Joker.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre.
It's super bizarre.
It is so fucking dumb.
Especially because they go ahead and they introduce a character in the cell right next to the Riddler in Arkham Asylum with him.
Oh, and it's going to be the Joker, and he sounds so fucking cringe, and it's really stupid.
But they also, what are your thoughts on the Riddler in this movie, Jeff?
Okay. All the way up to him talking to Batman, loved it. The idea of casting Paul Dano fucking great. What I see as should be the last scene of the movie when they arrest him, and he doesn't say fucking anything. He just looks so painfully normal and just smiles at Batman. That's where the fucking movie should end. After that, it's tough. And let me tell you why it's tough. Because they turn the Riddler from this enigmatic mystery into social commentary. And it's not subtle.
No, it's not subtle at all.
It's
so
really not subtle.
you all have been warned as far as spoilers go, but like one more chance here to not get too deep into it.
This is so fucking cringe. Oh my god.
The Riddler is an incel.
Well, okay, we don't know that for sure.
Right,
necessarily,
okay,
but he gives off incel vibes.
He gives off
sure.
incel vibes. Yes,
He
absolutely.
was a poor orphan. He was like downtrodden and shit.
He's like, nobody cared about me. You were up in your tower, and
right.
and it's super cringe.
And like
shit.
they allude to it before, but like it doesn't feel that cringy in that way
until you get to
it's literally like Paul Dano, like. And for some reason he's wearing a ring around his neck.
Yeah, that made no sense. He's got this huge ring that's bigger than the width of his actual head.
Yeah.
Like he could have just like taken it off. Like it was a big fucking necklace, but it was supposed to be a chain.
I think that's another reason why I think this is a studio add-on. Because like I think that they had already sent the costuming department home or something.
And
like they had already wrapped
laying around.
Yeah, and they were just like, what do we have? Oh, I don't know, this giant like valve clamp for, like an industrial dryer or something.
Yeah,
it's very stupid.
It didn't make any sense. And then you've got like in the very last scene, like Batman jumps off this thing after so he's the people that are shooting him with deer rifles are followers.
Oh god. I forgot about okay. No. We have to back up.
Okay, let's back up. Let's back up.
Okay. So the Riddler now for some reason just wants to like sow chaos and kill innocent people. And he has amassed basically an incel, like far right militia style.
You don't know that they're incels.
We don't know that they're incels, but I mean, a far right militia freedom fighter force. And then because he'll be locked up,
we don't know that they were far right either.
By the pigs.
Yeah, by the pigs at this point.
And like I'm fine with him being anti-police and shit, but like it was very heavy. The pigs, like whoa, buddy. And so he's radicalizing them to then go to where everybody will be taking shelter and just mercilessly gun
just
people.
Shooting the crowd.
Just shoot people.
Yeah.
Just do a mass shooting. Why? For gigs.
Yeah, people are there, trying to take shelter from all the seawater that's flooding the fucking the town. But like, let's go ahead and just start killing people.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever. YOLO. Yeah, that was really bad.
The first part of the movie is pretty good. Like I said, if they would have ended it, if they would have wrapped it up with like even the conversation with him in Arkham, if they would have changed it a little bit, but like made that the last scene and like
sure,
you could have alluded to the Joker in a less cringy way.
Sure.
And then it would have been a pretty good movie. But overall, like I would give it. Okay, so I thought about it coming out of the theater, and I was like, you know what? I would give this a 6 out of 10. But then I thought about the rewatchability of this. I am never going to watch this movie again. Like,
no.
I may watch it in a couple years, like when I've forgotten about it and I'm bored, but I'm never going to seek this movie out to watch it again. I'm never going to go like, you know what? I think I want to watch The Batman again. Unless, like, I want to watch it up until the point that Falcone dies and then turn it off.
I think somebody should do a fan edit and do that, actually. And I'd probably watch that, I'd watch that again. And the action's good.
Yeah.
I don't really mind how slow-paced some of it was because it was very atmospheric. And I thought it lent really good to the vibe. And John Turturro was great as Falcone.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Colin Farrell was fucking great as the Penguin.
I did not... I looked... And there was only one scene where he's in his car and he like turns his head back and like his head is over his shoulder, and he kind of had a Will or a Colin Farrell look to him.
Yeah, but you can't fucking tell.
Yeah, you can't tell with
It's
the
so
whole
crazy.
movie. Zoe Kravitz was fantastic.
She was really good.
She was awesome in this movie. Like I think out of all of the roles that she probably did the best.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
I would agree. I think she did really good.
She's starting to become like a big name actress. I mean, she was already a pretty big name, but like I think that she's going to start to become like a standout role kind of person. So
one last thing that I really hated, and you hated too. Something in the way.
So the soundtrack was like 70% fantastic, but they kept playing this Nirvana Under the Bridge, I think is the name of the song.
No, it's just called Something in the Way.
Is it? I can't
yeah.
remember. Under the Bridge is Red Hot Chili Peppers, isn't it?
Yes.
But anyway, so they kept playing. They only played the song with the lyrics by Nirvana twice, but the opening is just two chords like repeated higher and lower, or whatever.
Yeah.
And they kept playing that in the background, and every time that they did, again, it was taking me out of it because it was like, oh, they're using the fucking Nirvana song again. Jesus.
I would have been fine with it playing once, but it was more than that. But the rest of the score
was really good.
Super good. It was very minimalistic in an era when everything has to be like This is very like very minimalistic. Like
it was.
It's like pin drop fucking music.
Something that I noticed, and obviously, like it lends itself to it because there's no quips in this movie or anything like that.
Yeah.
Nobody in our theater said anything, laughed, cried, clapped, anything. Like it was just silent in our theater the entire time.
Sure, it was a very engrossing movie.
Yeah,
until it was completely distracting by the fourth act.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the fourth act.
The fourth act, and that is the problem.
Yes.
So that is why the Batman was garbage, but it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, it was kind of garbage. Like, it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. So, like I said, it was going to be a 6 out of 10. Rewatchability made it a 4 out of 10.
I'm going to say it was I wish I had been drinking when I watched it.
And now we're on to other things because it's content day.
It is content day, so we're gonna bounce, and we'll see you guys next time for the next movie review.
Take care.